I think we're live. We're waiting for some notifications here. Maybe we're live. Maybe we're not. Oh, I hear a notification.
Hello.
I think we're
Oh
live.
yeah, I think my phone just notified me.
That's weird. Mine normally does, and I didn't get a notification. Anybody else get notified? Are we live? Hello, hello. Is this thing on? I'm in the driver's seat tonight, and I don't know what I'm doing. We'll figure it out as we go.
Yes, I got notifications.
That's so weird that I did. Oh, yeah. There it is. It just didn't pop up. That's so weird. Oh, I'm getting texts. Yes, we're notified. All right, good. All right. So I guess we're live, and it's 8:30, and I guess we're ready. You ready, Chad?
I'm ready.
All right, let's see if we can make this work. And I have to count down, or Scott will get mad. 3, 2, 1.
You wanna know how to find it. Seek it out when they hide it. You know it's in the bag when it's an easy grab. But come on, take a chance now. So go, geocache. And if you need help, we're right there in a flash. If you got a question, just call in and ask. Uncover the stash on the Geocaching Podcast. The Geocaching Podcast.
Welcome, everyone. It's Wednesday, and it's 8:30, which means that it is once again time for the Geocaching Podcast. My name is Shorty Knits. With me tonight is my no bueno co-host, Chaz427.
Howdy, y'all. It's time to talk trackables.
That's right. Tonight we have a very no bueno show for you. Episode number 73, recorded live on October 19th, 2022. All things trackable, number trace, number 3. Phone lines are open. You can give us a call if you want to share your trackable story, 808-468-7924. That's 808-GOT-SWAG. And for all you international callers, you can call us for free via the web at callinstudio.com/show. Let me try that again. callinstudio.com/show/GCPC. So as you've noticed, there is no Scott tonight. He is out on assignment. So you're stuck with me and Chad. We're going to talk all things trackable tonight. Phone lines are open. I'm going to try to work all the controls. We'll see how it goes, but we definitely are open to phone calls. I love hearing trackable stories. Mike's not sounding right for me.
You were coming in pretty low there at the beginning, but it came back.
Oh, probably because probably because of the music. See, I don't know how to use the controls. I'm just making it up as I go. There's buttons and knobs, and I'm turning and hoping for the best. So, we'll see. So before we get into the show, though, Chad, we need to talk about Patreon. As you know, and we all know, and we tell everybody every week, it does cost a lot of money to make this podcast work. We always appreciate any and every bit of help that we can get. So we'd like to thank all of our current subscribers. And Chad, what do those subscribers get?
What do they get?
Yeah, what do our patrons get?
They get pat tags and buttons and extra audio, extra video, and our Patreon only show and the end of the year giveaway. Ooh, it's coming up.
I found a few things in my prize closet that I added to the show's prize closet for the end of the year. There's some good stuff this year. It is going to be a huge giveaway.
Yeah, I think I'm going to put in what I got from the Halloween stuff that I didn't give away to my Halloween exchange partner in that as well. So
sweet.
So
yeah, it's going to be
a few items from there.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And so if you haven't already and you want to become a patron, you can join the other side at patreon.com/thegeocachingpodcast. Or if you want to help us out, but you don't want to make that monthly commitment, you can always make a one-time payment via PayPal at paypal.me/thegeocachingpodcast. I know there's a button here somewhere.
There's a button.
There's a button. I don't know where they are. Here we go.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Tonight's show is brought to you by Cachly. Cachly is an advanced geocaching app for iOS. It features powerful online and offline features, including filtered searches, offline maps, and offline saving of caches. Cachly has hundreds of advanced features that will make your geocaching experience just that much better. Get more info at cachly.com. That's CACHLY.com.
It's also sponsored by Logwork. Logwork are the creators of the fantastic logbook made with genuine Write in the Rain paper. Logbook's designed for the micro containers of the present and future, geared towards the hider who would rather go caching than do cache maintenance. Find them at logwork.com. That's LOGWERK.com.
It's also brought to you by FTF Geocacher Magazine. FTF Geocacher is the magazine for geocachers written by geocachers. With 6 issues a year, FTF offers practical advice, hints and tips, cacher bios and milestones, geocaching events, trail tales, and all things geo-related. Find them at ftfgeocacher.com.
And by the Max Suds Body Company. Max Suds Body Company makes handmade bath and body products from all natural oils and butters. Items such as Poison Bee Gone soap, itch spray, and 2-cent choices of bug spray are all great for outdoor enthusiasts like geocachers. At Max Suds Body, we have you covered from head to toe. You can find them at maxsudsbody.com. That's MACSUDSBODY.com.
And by Practical Geocaching. Practical Geocaching sells utility items for geocaching. Our items are made in the USA, and we always provide free shipping. Find them at practicalgeocaching.com. That's PRACTICAL geocaching.com.
And by Arted Crafted. Arted Crafted creates unique geocaching themed tees and custom designs for you or your geocaching group. With adult sizes ranging from small to 5XL, if you have an idea for a shirt design and cannot find it, you've come to the right place. Please give us the opportunity to show how we can enhance your geocaching experience with your own custom design. Visit them at artedcrafted.com. That's ARTEDCRAFTED.com.
And by packtags.com for all your swag and pat tag needs. Visit our website to get creative help, to trade our log tags, or to purchase your own personalized pat tag. With over 47,000 tags to collect, pattags.com is everything you need to start your pat tag obsession. Visit them at pattags.com. That's PATHTAGS.com.
And by Geocaching Adventures, LLC. Geocaching Adventures is a full-service travel agency specializing in creating the ultimate worldwide geocaching adventures for cachers and non-cachers alike. What could be better than having your geocaching bucket list vacation all planned and led by a traveling expert? Learn more by visiting us at geocachingadventuresllc.com.
And finally, by GeoGo. Geocaching with GeoGo, the geocaching app for Android that includes a Where I Go player, Where I Go player, trackable scanner, companion watch app, and county finds database. If you're an advanced geocacher, GeoGo helps with powerful features like nearby cache notifications, optimized routes, offline mode, bulk TB logging, and much more. Learn more by visiting them at geogo.com. That's GEOOH-GO.com. And
you can find links to all of our sponsors on our website
or in our show notes.
Yep.
And Leah was giving me a shout out for nice props. And it just happens that today my FTF Geocacher magazine came in and I had it sitting right next to me here in my office. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to pop that up when I say the FTF Geocacher magazine.
I wonder if mine's out in my mailbox. I don't think I got the mail today.
Could be.
I hope so. I would look forward to it. So let's see. We do have a little bit of news that we can talk about. I know there's a news button. Wow. How you'd think he would have this like alphabetical or something. I'm sure there's a system, but I haven't figured it out.
Like the common ones up top, the ones that you got to play all the time or something.
I think he's got them like color coded, but I haven't figured it out.
The news.
So this has been all over social media over the past couple of days. So if you're on social media in any kind of geocaching group, I'm sure you've heard about this. Have you seen this news out of GCHQ this week?
Yeah, kind of disappointed.
I have very mixed feelings. So what we're talking about is GCHQ has announced that benchmarks will be removed from geocaching.com before the end of the year. And I put a link in our show notes to the post in the forums where they where they talked about why and what they'll be doing. So basically, what they're saying is that because benchmarks are only available in the U.S., they were added to the website when geocaches were less available. Today, they're not in line with the global game that geocaching has become. And also because benchmarks are not owned by community members, it's impossible for maintenance to occur like with a geocache. And benchmark listings also refer to marks that were removed or destroyed. So it makes the game experience uneven and often frustrating.
Oh, yeah.
So they've decided to retire them from geocaching.com. So on the one hand, I totally agree with that. It's,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard, but also they're not included in your find count. So they're
No.
not taking anything away from you. It's just one less.
Right.
And so along
But
with
sometimes it's it's fun. Like you're out there and it's like, okay, you got a sort of fun benchmark. It's there at a firehouse, but you know that the firehouse has been replaced. Going and finding it, and it turns out it's on the wall, mounted
right.
into the wall of the firehouse. Things like that. Those, it's an adventure sometimes.
Yeah. I do like finding the real benchmarks, not the ones that are more waymarky.
Right.
But speaking of waymarks, you can still log benchmarks through the waymarking, which
Right.
is still incorporated into geocaching, that branch of geocaching. So what they're doing is identifying any challenge caches that are related to benchmarks, and they'll be automatically archiving those.
Ooh.
So
I wonder if they'll let people who have benchmarks as one of many requirements just scratch the benchmark portion.
maybe they'll give people an opportunity to revise their challenge,
Right.
or archive it and re-release it, because that's
Mm-hmm.
if you're modifying the requirements for a challenge and some people have qualified, but now you make it easier, maybe
Right.
you're better off just archiving.
I know I've got a couple of benchmarks out there that are probably challenge caches out there that are it's across the spectrum of, are you a geocacher beginner, geocacher advanced, geocacher extreme, and each one of those has a certain number of benchmarks, but it's really focused on a bunch of other geocaches, like number of puzzles, number of multis, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
it's like, let's just scratch the benchmark portion.
Right. I'm still claiming how many icons was it? 15 icon day?
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
we do 15, right?
15.
Yeah. I'm still claiming my 15 icon day.
Yes.
Benchmark was included in that.
Project GC says 15. I'm good.
Yeah. Well, is that going to change?
They shouldn't.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out.
Might have to have a little asterisk by it.
Right. Right. Was 15. Yeah. So we'll see. But I understand where they're coming from. But of course, anytime there's a big change, there's always disappointment and acceptance. And then we move on and we're fine.
That's right.
So, all right. Well, let's get in to the show. We do have a call. So let's see if I can figure out how to work all the buttons. We have firefighter Skippy calling. Hi.
Good evening, Jess and Chad.
Howdy.
Wait, I'm looking to see if he he did not add anything.
Yeah.
No sound.
So about TVs.
Yeah.
I had a community celebration event credit for a long time. And so last month I held a event about TVs. I called it Skippy's Coin Show because I own over 800 geocoins.
Wow.
And I brought them to the event and allowed people to discover them all.
Oh, and did other people bring theirs? And did they trade? And did they what all did the attendees do and bring?
There was no trading.
No.
There was no trading going on, but people brought some of their coins. People did trade pass tags, those that have pass tags.
Right.
But I had about 20 people show up, and they all enjoyed looking at my coins because quite a few of them have never seen that many coins.
Okay, I have a question. So you have 800. Do you have all of your coins activated, or do you have some that are not activated and maybe you never will?
I do have some that I did not bring with me that are unactivated. Not very many, but all the ones that I did bring are activated. Yeah.
And what's your criteria, or why would you not activate a coin? I'm just curious.
There's a couple of coins that I've received that I'm just not that thrilled with how they look or something like that. And so I hold them aside, and sometimes I leave them for first to find prizes or just randomly leave them in a cache as I go along.
Okay. So it's not about like value or something like that. I know some people don't activate a trackable or a coin because they think if they do, it would, reduce the value and that they could never sell it and it wouldn't be worth money. And, I'm just curious because I at one point I had activated everything that I had. And then over the past year or two, I've acquired many, many more coins. And one, I'm just lazy. And so I haven't activated that. And two, I'm like, I don't know. Does it matter? Do I really want to? It's just, for me, my personal opinion is I think that on the geocaching.com website, the trackables section is really clunky and hard to navigate. You can't like filter out your own. And so I can't imagine sifting through 800 trackables in your collection, right?
Yeah, well.
I think I only have about a little over 100 activated, and I probably have about 150 that aren't activated, and 99% of those come down to I'm too lazy to get around to doing it. So the ones that I've got in my display case and stuff, I've got all those activated. Any ones that I show codes on in the show, those are also definitely activated. But I probably got close to 50 lackey tags that are unactivated as well, and I know they hate it when you don't activate theirs. But it's like,
really?
But it's like I want to keep them in their cellophane packaging and not activate them. So eventually I want to make an art piece with them.
Oh, that would be cool.
Huh.
The ones
neat.
that I definitely activate are ones that I've earned. So ones that are, for some sort of accomplishment, whether it's a geo tour or I went to an event or something like that. But ones that I buy just because I think they're pretty, I don't know. One day maybe I'll get around to acting.
Yeah, I've got a couple Geotour ones that are unactivated right now. So I've got one Geotour that I know is activated because I can see it up in my case. So
yeah, the Geotour coins, the event coins, the challenges that I qualify for, those I activate, and I also try to pass them through the event or the challenge cache that I did. So I put a little bit of mileage on them, not much, but The majority of them, I activate them because I like it, and I put them all into notebooks. I've got I don't know, 7 or 8 different notebooks filled with the coins.
Nice.
Nice. And I'm assuming that you have them all in your collection, right? So people can't
Yeah.
accidentally grab
Yeah.
them from you. Okay.
Correct. Yeah, they're all in the collection so that they can't be mistaken.
Right.
So,
Yeah, go ahead, Chad.
so did you bring a sheet of tracking numbers for people to discover those when at your event, or did you make them do it the hard way?
No, if people were interested in the tracking numbers, I told them to email me, and then I sent them a spreadsheet with all the tracking numbers.
Nice.
That's nice. Okay. I love the idea of doing a celebration event. I think many of us are like down to the wire. How many celebration events do you think we're going to see in the next 2.5 months?
Oh,
Right.
I think you're going to see a large rash of
I
them.
have one. Scott has one. And I keep getting the reminders from HQ about the deadline is the end of this year. And I'm going, oh, geez, what am I going to do?
We're not extending it anymore.
No, they're not. So I like the idea. I just haven't had a good idea, of what's the theme. I like the Trackables idea. Bring your Trackables. Let's have a discover party.
That's a good idea.
That's a great idea. I love it.
Well, there you go. There's your next event.
Perfect. Thanks. All right. Well, we appreciate the call.
All right.
All
Take
right.
care, guys.
You too.
I got a package today, and I'm gonna see what it is.
You're gonna open it live on air?
I'm gonna open it live on
as
air.
my kids say, the unboxing is so 2019. That's what we were told. What did you get? Are they trackables?
It could be.
It could be trackables. For our listeners, this is riveting. They can't wait to see what you got. Oh,
that's a UFO. That's a snag the tag UFO.
Very nice.
So I went out and found this snag the tag, a Watson orange. It was in this 3D printed container.
That is really cool.
That comes off, and the trackable. This thing's slightly bigger than a standard geocoin, and pretty good heft to it. It's got a little orange gem on there, so I'm not taking it out of the. Well, yeah, I'll take it out.
It's 3D, right? It's not flat.
It's 3D. It's not flat.
It's the spaceship.
It's a spaceship. Yeah. See, it's really too big to fit in the standard package. Yeah. So, yeah, you can see how it's 3D there.
That's really cool. So you found one that somebody else had hit.
Yeah, I found the snag the tag. Let's see, a week and a day ago. So
okay, very nice. Nobody hides them around here. It was
far enough out of the SAC area that I don't think most people it was in their notification radius, but it was just within my notification radius, and it came out at like 9:00 at night.
Oh,
and it's like I'm not driving down there in the middle of nowhere, and it's literally in the middle of nowhere. To go get this at 9:00 at night. And it's like, and I got up in the morning. It's like, nobody's gone and found it. Okay, well, I've got a meeting. Let's see if it's still there after the meeting. After the meeting, it was still there. So it's like, got in the car and went after it.
Very nice. So you're saying that people should expand their notification radius?
I think so.
For snag the tag.
No, don't do it. Let me get them.
All right. Okay. So I have a whole bunch of stuff in our show notes about trackables. Do you remember, Chad, the last time we had a show about trackables? Because this is
No,
all things trackable 3.
no, I don't. To be honest, it's been that long. I
It's
probably
been
should. I probably should have went back and watched the video.
it was one of the first, like within the first few months of the show coming back
Okay,
in this format. And we had a whole bunch of stuff in our notes. And then people started calling in and telling us their trackable stories.
hmm
We had so many calls, and the topic was so incredibly popular that we decided to extend it another week. And so we
right.
had back-to-back shows about trackables. So we don't have that in our plans for next week. But hey, you guys, give us a call. Tell us your best trackable story. Tell us, did you have one that went missing forever and somebody found it at a garage sale, like happened to me?
Ooh,
I can only tell that story so many times.
right.
We want some news stories. So give us a call. Phone lines are open. Scott left a few things in his notes, even though he's not here tonight, but this is what he wants us to discuss. He and I had this debate the other day. Is a path tag a trackable?
No.
I agree with you. Okay, end of discussion.
There's no tracking on it. You can put a note in there and tell the creator of the path tag that you enjoyed their path tag, but there's absolutely no tracking information whatsoever on it. Now you can get a path tag made and tell them to put a specific number on that path tag. And you could use a tracking number on there, but most people won't know that it's a tracking number on there because it tells you to log it at pathtags.com.
Oh, so have you ever seen that? Have you seen somebody put
Yes,
into their design a trackable number?
I've seen one person do it.
Huh, I have never come across that. That's a very interesting concept.
Yeah,
Huh. Okay. Anybody in the chat room, have you guys ever seen that? If not, go make some. I think that's kind of cool. So you kind of get, it's like a bonus. You get a
yeah,
path tag and you can add that to your own collection, which path tags are not trackables. But
right.
then you get to discover a trackable.
It's kind of like the going caching cards.
Yeah.
Which they use an actual tracking number on those, and so you got multiple copies of it. So it's not impossible to make a path tag a trackable, but it is not generally done that way.
I think that would be kind of cool. Like if you have your own personal number, Yeah, it's kind of neat. Okay. So let's go back to the beginning. I think most people know what a trackable is, but there might be some new people out there. So let's just take like 30 seconds and define what a trackable is. According to geocaching.com's help section, trackables are a geocaching game piece that has a unique tracking code. The tracking code allows you to track its movement on geocaching.com. Trackable owners can set a goal for their trackable, and they will stay with the owner, or they can move from cache to cache. Occasionally with a sheet that lists their goal. That should always, pro tip, if you have a trackable that has a goal other than just to travel, if it has a specific goal, put it on a sheet of laminated paper or put it inside a Ziploc bag and put it with it so that when someone pulls it out of a cache, it's clear right in their face what you want done with that trackable.
Yep. And it'll still go missing though, or it will still end up in Germany
Right.
for the rest of its days.
That's right. So there's a few different kinds of trackables. There's your standard travel bug. Typically those are like a dog tag, and you would attach that to another object. Geocoins are a special trackable that were first invented by Mountain Bike. They are often created to commemorate special events or as a signature item. Geocoins come in all shapes and sizes, and coins are often kept in personal collections, like 800 in Firefighter Skippies, or I saw in the chat room 2,500 coins
Yeah,
in
that was Ryan Simmels.
Simmels 123. That is a lot. 2,500. That's a lot.
Mhm.
That's like, I would have to get a storage space for that.
Right.
And then, of course, there's all kinds of other trackable items. You can put a unique tracking code on anything, on a shirt, on your car,
A
on
pin.
a pin, a
so-
Lego. People have trackable tattoos. You can make anything trackable. It's basically just a code that you can track. So, we have another call. We have Crazy Dog Tracker. No, this is Cody Dog. I love the auto screen. It's not always quite right. So, hello, Crazy Dog Tracker.
Oh, I think I've changed my name. You get one try, right?
I think so. It's brilliant. Hi, it's Cody Dog. In case you didn't know.
Hello.
Borg.
Do you have a story for us?
Well, I got more of a question.
Okay.
Do we think that trackables should go in every cache type if it can go into that cache type? So,
Expand.
like, do
What
we
do you mean?
think that trackables should go into puzzles? Should they go into multis? Should they go? What do we think?
If it fits in the container, yeah. If it has a container and fits in the container, yeah.
Don't put a trackable in a virtual.
Now visiting
Well, like,
is okay,
well,
but not
Are we-
dropping.
fine.
Go repeat.
What I'm getting at is, are we going to put a trackable in a 5.5?
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, is it frowned upon? Maybe. It depends on how often it gets found.
If it has a goal to if it's in a race, putting it in a 5.5 is no bueno. But if it's a cool coin and it's a 5.5 that gets hit fairly regularly, well, why not?
Right.
It's like I had one in a race that the first person that picked it up was a new cashier, and he went out and he did this. It was like a 3.5, 5 or 3.5, 4.5 multi that would get hit on average once a year.
Mhm.
And it's like, what the heck? And that kind of irritated me. But I had a coworker that was coming in, and he wasn't like a serious cashier, but are there any cool caches around? And it's like, oh yeah, there's this cool multi. And I had him do the multi. It's like, if you do it, you got to take this trackable out of here and take it back to you to Maryland. And he did. And I came in second place overall in that TB race.
Wow. So Scorpio Red's asking about a 5.5 that gets hit regularly. Sure. I mean, we have some 5.5s like on an island or something that you can walk out to in the winter time, and they might get hit, a whole bunch over the winter, and then not at all summer long. But then come next winter, we might hit them again.
No, and not all 5.5s are true 5.5s. So there is a liar 5.5s out there as well. So now whether or not a liar 5.5s are legitimate 5.5s, that's another topic.
But it's interesting. I think I've changed my personal opinion. I don't think I would put it in a 5.5, a multi, or a puzzle. Just like being an owner and I want it to move. I think I've changed my attitude, and I think I only put them in like ammo cans that are regularly hit.
Right.
But I also don't want them being picked up by. I would rather them not be picked up by newer cashers that only have a handful of finds that drop out of the game. and that's part of another thing. So putting them in a little bit higher DT rated ones isn't that bad of an idea, in my opinion.
Are
Yeah.
you putting really expensive travel bugs out there, or are they midline or cheaper?
Today mine are midline or cheaper. I mean, the last time I put out a geocoin, I put 2 geocoins out in May of 2015.
Mhm.
They both went MIA very quickly.
Mhm.
Again, but that being said, one was this NRG geocoin that they were giving away, which basically that's a power company in Houston, and they were giving away, and it was probably the second worst designed geocoin I have ever seen. And the other one, I wanted to commemorate my trip to Alaska, and I bought an Alaskan geocoin from it wasn't Cash Advance. Who was it? I can't remember who it was now, but I bought one from them, and because it was Alaska base, and it happened to be on sale, so I was like, okay, I'm sure it's going to go missing, but if it does, it does. Yeah, both of them went didn't make 2 hops.
Yeah, I think I've put out two coins. I've put out other trackables, but geo coins, I've only put out 2. One was one of the promotions. What was it? The Mine Labs. It was the what do you
Oh,
call
right.
it? Do you remember that from it was like one of the very first promotions, and I think they learned pretty quickly
Yeah.
not to use coins for promotions. It was the metal detecting company. I want to say it was Mine Labs.
Yes, I actually found an unactivated one of those on a camping trip while teaching some Cub Scouts how to geocache.
Wow. Mine went missing, like it never made it out of the cache I put it in. And then the other one that I put out was the misprint of the Chicago Geocacher podcast 100th episode coin. They misprinted the first batch of those, and
Right.
so they reprinted them all with the same numbers. So I had this one that was totally misprinted, did like it was like missing the word podcast or something. It's I sent that one out in the wild, and it went missing too. So, but I figured, it was not perfect anyway. So, all right. Well, that is an interesting topic, Aaron. So thanks for calling. And people should think about that when they're dropping trackables.
Yeah. All right. Y'all have a good night.
All right. We'll talk to you.
All right.
Okay. We have another call. Who knows? This person might know a thing or two about, whoops, helps if I hit the right button. I almost hung up on him. We have, is this Chris Mackey?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hi.
Hey.
So Chris Mackey might know a thing or two about
Oh yeah.
coins, right?
I've been around a coin or two.
Right.
I was laughing when we were talking about the sort of like the fact that a lot of people are a little are a little leery of the idea of putting out an activated coin, thinking, how far will it travel?
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those things that it pays itself back in time. A lot of times they'll take off initially and then disappear, and then suddenly they'll pop up and they disappear. And I remember the first time a coin immediately disappeared on me. I was really disappointed. I was so excited because it was moving really quick. It was one of those evil micro geocoins. So they're easy to place in any size cache. And it was just bouncing. And it made all the way across the US. And it was down in the Southwest, New Mexico, Arizona, something like that. And then it just, all of a sudden I get an email and from a cacher down that way. And she's like, she's like, I feel horrible. I was out in a national park in the middle of nowhere or something. And she was or a state park, national park. She was way out in the middle, nowhere land. and she set down her bag and to log into a cache, and then she goes on to the next cache, and she gets there and she goes to log in and realizes her
Shorty Nuts, you when you muted him as well. Sorry.
All right. The dogs are fighting.
what's that?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that. Go ahead and continue.
Okay, so at any rate, she runs back, she finds her bag, or she goes to look for her bag, it's gone. So, but she had already discovered the coin or had done the pickup. So she emailed me and said that, hey, I'm so sorry, but your coin's been stolen. I'll replace it or whatever. And I'm like, no, it's good. Just leave it out there. The wonderful thing about a geocoin or a trackable is that unless someone physically goes through the effort to grind them up in a steel mill, they're going to show up sooner or later. It just takes time. And in this case, in that particular coin, it disappeared for 4 years. And then out of the blue, it just pops up in another cache 2 states away. And it traveled for another summer and then disappeared again. And then 4 years later, I get an email, and someone says, hey, we just we found your coin. It was in a box of toys at a yard sale. We threw it in a cache.
Wow.
I'm like,
Wow.
and it's traveling again. And of course, it's disappeared again since then. But sometimes those disappearances and then the resulting finds are every bit as cool as the DNFs. We always remember the DNFs. We don't always remember those caches that we logged. Remember the adventures. And a lot of the DNFs are the best stories. Those are the ones we laugh about, we talk about. And do you remember when we tried and it was a disaster? I think sometimes we forget that coins disappearing is part of their story too. But they're they're going to last a long time. And sooner or later, they're going to show up again. And you just got to have a little faith and a lot of patience.
Definitely.
That's true. Okay, so Chris, you keep a copy of all of the coins that you've designed, right?
I have some of them. I usually, like, if I'm doing them for a club or if I'm doing them for an event, I usually end up getting a copy.
Okay.
But I definitely don't have a copy of everything.
Oh, okay.
If I'm doing a personal coin or something for someone, I know how much it takes to invest in making a coin for yourself and how limited the numbers are. And so how precious every single coin is. And so a lot of times, as much as I appreciate getting that coin, I'd love to make that a coin that I trade for later too. So if I could find that person and, meet that person in person and trade for them, then that coin that I have now in my collection has more meaning than just getting it as part of the job.
Makes sense.
And I think that's the greatest part about coins is that it's the stories and the people you meet. And I'm always more interested in a coin that has a great story than is particularly pretty. Some of the coins like that just inspired me to change the way I thought about them were like Lemon Fresh Dog did that caught red-handed coin. Like, man, it must have been like 06, 07, something like that. And it was a coin that just had the big red ink print hand depressed into the surface. And it says, if you found this coin, it's been stolen because it should be traveling in the cache. And I loved the idea that there was no way to hold on to this thing and not be called out. You had to get it going in another cache. And it was 100%, I guess, like you have that whole form versus function. It was 100% function. It's like, don't worry about the design. This thing needs to move. And I loved that they completely committed to that. And then on the other hand, you have...
I'm showing the caught red-handed on the screen now.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Yeah.
That's a nice coin. Yep.
That's cool.
And it's just such a cool idea. I mean, it was all about form. And so as a designer, working with people, I kind of have to look at like, what do you want to do with your coin? Is it going to be all form? Is it going to be all function? Is it going to have function beyond just being a coin? That's something that's kind of new. Someone in the chat was asking, what's the new thing in coins? Multi-purpose coins that have codexes or hidden codes or Easter eggs in them that somehow become part of the geocaching adventure. That's kind of like I see a lot more of that kind of happening now. People are giving more thought into what they're creating. And yeah, it's kind of great that way. It's evolving.
Yeah, for those that don't know, Chris is probably the best known geocoin designer out there, and in my opinion, the best geocoin designer in the industry. So, hats off to you on all your stuff. I would not. I'm sorry. I would not put a coin that you designed out in the wild. I'm sorry. I it's like I'm not letting it go.
Well, some of them are made to travel.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that's the thing too. Is like you reach a point. Is like, is it too pretty to put out in the wild? Did you miss the mark there?
Right.
That's something that has to be taken into consideration. I've been playing around with this idea since 2005. I've nicknamed the project Tank, and the idea was to make a coin that was so ugly that there was no point in it other than to travel. But the idea was to create a design that could take a horrible beating and take all the coins, throw them into a cement mixer with some granite, and tumble them for an hour or two and let them loose, because each one of them would be completely unique, and they would be too ugly to collect, but cool enough, to show and pass on to another cashier. So
Nice.
yeah, it's got I don't know. There's always going to be that next thing. So, but I'm like everybody else. I want a cool looking coin too. I'm working on another personal for the first time in years.
Oh, nice.
There's advantages to having those coins. You become a part of a community within the community.
Right.
Tight group. Everybody knows each other. And the funny thing is, like, I design a lot of personal coins, and I never see anybody announcing the fact that they're done. They're out there. But when you become part of that community, you start to find out who else has a coin. And it's wild. There's a lot more personal coins out there than most people realize.
Yeah, I've got a small handful of personal coins that people have given me or I've traded for. But yeah, if you go to an event like the GeoCoin Fest, and that's where you see lots of people with their personal coins out there, and I don't know if they still do it. They used to have like a poker game at the end of it where people would be betting with their personal coins or their coin collections. So
yeah, that was one of the coolest things I ever got to see in person. Was one of the very first poker games at a Midwest Geobash. They had the final round. They actually played with poker chips that were actual geocoins.
Mm-hmm.
And so you had all these stacked up piles of shiny, and the sound when someone puts them all in and they push it forward, and just hundreds of these coins go clattering across the table. I mean, there's probably 4 or 5 people deep around that final table, and the rest of us were all standing on chairs in rows outside of that watching. And it was just something so cool about just big piles of coins being pushed around, and that was really wonderful.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks so much for calling, Chris. In the chat room, we have some people asking could they get in contact with you if somebody wants to reach out and talk to you about maybe designing a coin for them. How would they find you?
I'm on Facebook as Christian Mackey. I'm on Instagram as Geo Fox and the Hound, and you can go to the website at Aura. It's AURA, like the aura you put on.
Mm-hmm.
Aura Design Group.
Excellent.
AuraDesignGroup.com.
Great. All right.
Nice.
All right. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for calling.
Hey, no problem.
All right.
I'm going to hang around here in the chat.
All right. Great.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
All right. Cody has another question. And I feel like maybe we've touched on this before, but I think this is kind of an ethical question. How do you feel about attaching an air tag to a trackable?
An air tag to a trackable.
Mm-hmm. Now, I have air tags on both my dogs. Scott has an AirTag on his keys because he loses them all the time. Our kids have AirTags in their backpacks because they tend to set them down and walk away. How would you feel about having one on a trackable?
I've never used an AirTag, so what's the range on
It,
an AirTag?
it uses GPS. So at
So,
any given time, it's just like, like Find My
yeah,
Friends or
yeah,
what.
but it doesn't necessarily so it's got to transmit that back, or it's the AirTag just you got to pull the GPS data off of there. It doesn't just transmit it back. It doesn't transmit to like a cellular tower and then back to some place.
I don't know if it uses cell or GPS. I would
Well, so the
assume
GPS is one-way communication. All it is timestamps,
yeah.
chirps,
So it must
uh,
use
and map.
the cell.
Right.
So it would have to be somewhere with a signal.
I thought it used Bluetooth or something. That's what I was
Well, it
thinking
uses
to transmit it's the information that
right.
it has, which Bluetooth has a limited range, typically in a neighborhood of 30 feet.
Right. So it does. I'll get an alert if I have accidentally left my dog somewhere other than if the AirTag and my phone are not connected or not
Right.
within range. I will get a notification other than at my house. But also I have had times where Scott's left his keys in my car and I drive away and I get a notification on my phone saying there's an AirTag that's been traveling with you. Is this yours? Or so
Right.
it's both, but I can also see exactly where the dog is when we're not together.
Because it's something another one of your devices on your account
Correct.
is getting the Bluetooth information and then it's communicating it to your phone.
No, if they're out for a walk, like if Scott takes the dog for a
Right.
walk.
So you guys are effectively, I don't want to call it AirTag buddies, but shared account information is allowed to be shared about your AirTags.
No, my AirTag is my AirTag. It has nothing to do with Scott. We've left the dogs at the sitter where neither one of us are there and I can still see where they are. It's
Hmm.
just like, it must use
So
cell technology.
but I know it doesn't. You wouldn't have the battery life in an AirTag to be able to handle the communication to cell. It must be Bluetooth to another AirTag enabled device, another phone, and then it goes up.
I don't know. In any event, I can see where the dog is at any given time because
Okay.
she has one on her collar. So if you attach that to a trackable, now somebody goes and you drop it in a cache. Next cacher comes along. Oh, this is kind of cool. They pick that up, take it with them. Now I can see where that person is at any given time.
I don't
Kind of
quite like that idea.
stalkerish, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I think that's the general consensus. People have been saying that in the chat. It's sort of
I'm gonna
stalkerish.
have to look more into what AirTag's capabilities are and how it communicates.
I don't know. I just know I always know where my dog is.
Yep.
I don't know how it works. It's magic. The magic of technology. I don't know. So, all right. So I have a question. At what point do you mark that your trackable is missing? And the reason I'm asking is because most of my trackables I have marked as missing because they are legit missing. But I have one that was dropped into a cache last year, in like early 2021. Since that person dropped it, one other person found that cache, and then that cache has had 3 DNFs. Would I mark that missing?
Um, maybe.
Do you,
I usually let it go for about a year.
well, it's
Uh,
been about a
it-
year and a half now.
and just like the one that managed to be found and returned, um, my Mr. Pickle. Um, I never marked that as missing, although I probably should have.
Right. We just thought it was missing.
Well, it was
I mean,
missing.
we knew it was missing.
It was taken
It was replaced.
and replaced. But yeah,
Right. Yeah. I mean, there are times where I look at the logs and I'm like, yep, this one's clearly missing. I'll just go ahead and mark it. But then other times I'm like, well, maybe it's still out there. Maybe these people just legitimately did not find that cache. Maybe that cache isn't really gone, or maybe that other person took it and didn't know, or I don't
right.
know. There are ways though that a trackable would automatically be marked unknown as an unknown location or missing through the system if it's like in a cache that gets archived. Then it would be
I didn't know
unknown.
that. Okay.
Yeah, so according to geocaching.com's website, a trackable may automatically be moved to an unknown location if all three conditions are true. It's been in the same cache for more than a year. The trackable has not been logged in more than a year, and there have been at least 4 finds on different days on that geocache in which the trackable is located.
Okay.
I did not know that, but I'm pretty sure if a cache gets archived, you'll get a notification that a cache was archived that had your trackable in it.
Right.
So if a cache goes missing, then do you send out a copy or a proxy tag, or do you cross your fingers and hope the original shows back up?
I've sent out a proxy before, and we were going to send out a proxy for Mr. Pickle,
Right?
but we managed to find was it firefighter Skippy who was it that recovered it?
Oh, it was Tyrone Shoelaces.
Tyrone Shoelaces. I knew it was one of our listeners. Yeah. Since it was found, it's like, no, I'm not going to do that. Not going to do the proxy, but I've got another replacement Mr. Pickles thing. Was it Tiva, I believe, that gave me a replacement one. So if this ever goes missing, I will replace that one. That one, I think Mr. Pickle will live forever, or at least as long as I do.
Did Scott put all of them back in the porch cache?
He said he was going to, but I didn't see anything get logged into there. So
Yeah, I'm pretty sure mine still says it's in the front porch, but I have no idea if it still is because that was a few months ago. So speaking of copy tags or proxy tags, what are your thoughts on people who take a color photocopy of a coin and laminate that and send that out into the wild?
lame. What's your opinion of that?
I understand why they do it, but I do kind of feel like that is I don't want to I don't want to say cheating because it's not cheating, but it's untrue. I mean, you're logging miles on a coin that's probably still sitting at your house. And
now there were some coins that came out, and they were doing it for a while, where they would ship a proxy with it. And I have sent out the proxy on it, and it's basically that proxy is more like a high quality TB.
Right.
And I've sent that out and kept the coin. So I see that as reasonable.
Right. Okay.
But a photo, but a picture that's laminated, not really.
I wouldn't do it, but I'm also too lazy to go through the trouble of taking a photocopy and laminating it. But I do understand why people do that. And I think it used to be much more common than it is now.
Oh yeah.
So, did you know we're on the topic of missing caches? Project GC has a TB rescue tool. So if you do have a coin that's missing, maybe I'll submit this to the TB rescue of mine that's been sitting in a cache for a year and a half. And you can sign up to get notified of when people post a mission in your area, and you can help find their trackable. Have you ever done it?
I've never done it. I've heard about it, but I've never done it. So I might give it a try.
I'm trying to remember. I think years ago I had a couple that I put on that they were missing, and if I remember correctly, somebody went out and said they checked and did not find it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. And I'm signed up, but I've never gotten a notification that anything's ever been marked missing near me. So,
right.
Yeah, Ryan Semmel says, yeah, usually it's verifying that it is missing. Right. I think, unfortunately, that's true. That if it's missing, it probably really is missing. So, all right, what else we got about trackables? What's your favorite trackable story, Chad?
By the way, Mr. Pickle has not officially been logged into your cache.
Oh, it hasn't.
It was retrieved from West Bend, $1,000 cash bash.
Yep.
And has not been. So if it physically got put out there, it didn't get dropped.
Jim RKY says we did not see them when we were there. So I wonder if somebody grabbed them and didn't log them. Come on, people, log them. So that's actually the next section in my notes is all about trackable etiquette.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things is log them in a timely manner. And there's sort of, there's some judgment there. If you grab a trackable out of a cache and you see that it's still in the hands of the last finder who was just there the day before, maybe give them a day or two. But if it's been a few weeks or longer, maybe go ahead and log it.
So I just took a look. I've got one that's all the way back in 2014. That was the last time it was logged in. It has been marked missing.
It has or has not?
Has not.
Oh, you might want to.
That one I do, and I've got another one from 2019. All the rest have been logged within the last couple months. So.
And how many do you have?
Activated 125.
I'm around there. I'm just over 100, I think, I've activated.
And like I said, I've got probably 100, at least 150 of unactivated ones. I'm bad.
Oh yeah, me too. They're in piles on my desk because I set them on my desk and then I say, okay, if I leave it on my desk, I'll remember to activate it. And then I never do. They're all just piled up in stacks, tons of them.
Here, just grabbed a handful off my desk.
Yep. I'm the same way. Boy, it's terrible. All right. Well, we are out of time. We still have tons more to talk about in our notes, but we're not doing another trackable show next week, for the record. But if you still have questions or are interested, of course, you can go on geocaching.com in the help section and read all about trackables. There are groups on Facebook all about trackables. And of course, you can always go to our show notes. Oh, one more thing I almost forgot.
Isn't there like a Geocoin Anonymous a Facebook group, something like that?
For Geocoin addicts?
For Geocoin addicts.
probably, or if there's not, there should be. So I think if Scott was here and I was in the other room and I could multitask a little bit more than I can here during the show tonight, I would have been on Shop Geocaching buying the 2022 Lackey coin. But because
I
he
ordered
wasn't
mine.
here, I need to go and do it right now. So they just announced this week this year's Lackey coin is officially on sale in the shop while supplies last. And have they ever done this before?
I've never seen them do a what do you call
premium?
a discount code.
No, me
There's a
neither.
discount code. The word is premium.
Right, for premium members, put in that code at checkout. We're telling all of our non-premium members, but hey, let's share it. So these are each year they put out a new coin that has the digital icon of all of the
Right.
lackeys who are there for that year. So
And I haven't bought one in a couple of years, so a few years. So it's like I need a new one.
yeah,
So I've got a couple up in my cabinet.
Yep.
That are activated. A couple more that aren't activated.
Yep, right, of course. Yeah, so I'm gonna go do that right now. So next week's show is Halloween and scary
Ooh.
caches. I think we all have some stories about caches that scared us as we were finding them. So I know I do.
Mm-hmm.
So anything else to add?
Nope.
All right, me neither. Let's wrap it up. Please join us again next week and every Wednesday night at 8:30 Eastern. No, 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, as we stream live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and on our website at geocachingpodcast.com. The archived video versions of our podcasts are available on our website or on our YouTube channel, and the audio versions are available on your favorite podcatcher. If you like the show, please head on over to Apple Podcasts and rate, review, and subscribe. We really appreciate it, and it helps the show when you do. If you prefer to watch the show, make sure to click the subscribe or get notified buttons to know when we go live. If you haven't already, please consider becoming a patron of our show. With tiers as low as $3, you will get a ton of additional information, extra videos, extra audio, only available to patron members. Head on over to patreon.com today and subscribe. That's patreon.com/thegeocaching podcast. Thanks again to all of our sponsors, Cachly, Logwork, FTS Geocaching Magazine, Max's Body Company, Practical Geocaching, Art is Drafted, Passtags.com, Geocaching Adventures LLC, and GeoGuide. Please visit our sponsors, and when you make a purchase, tell them that GCPC sent you. That's all we got this week. We'll see you again next week, talking geocaching, taking your phone calls. In the meantime, be good, be safe, hug your loved ones, and we will talk to you all next week. And we're clear. I don't know how Scott times it so he ends perfectly with the music. I'm always off. I'm either way too long or way too short. We'll let him do it again next week. Man, we barely even got through any of our notes.
Oh, I know.
There's so much. There's Trackables is like a whole game in and of itself.
Oh yeah, I don't want to get. I know I probably wasted a lot of time there talking my stories and stuff, but it was like everyone's got trackable stories.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yep, we all do. We have lots. I mean, we didn't even talk about the new format for the GeoTour coins. Now every coin for the GeoTour is the same. Have you noticed that?
Are they all the parallelogram?
Yes.
Yeah.
They have the GeoTour on one side, and then the back is specific to that.
Right. I've got the last few geotours that I've done have had that. I remember the earlier geotours that I did were I had one that was a unique shape, one that was round. So but yeah, now they're all the somewhat of a parallelogram.
Right. Yep. All right, guys. Those of you who are still sticking around in the chat room, we're going to Well, I'm going to go to bed. I don't know what anyone else is doing. So thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next week.